All right, all right. Good evening, good evening. I am on three devices. It's presently, this one is there, this is there. Okay, here we go. I cannot open this right now. Every night is something new. Huh, this is crazy. Let me see. One day ago. Sad. All right, guys. I got too much to do. Everybody hold the calls, hold the calls. I'm back. I'm back. All right, so welcome, 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 everybody. It's Agela Naya A. And as you guys can see, your girl is back. Let me see something. I'm trying to go live on YouTube. So now I have this one. I'm testing it out. Hi, welcome, Elise. Or hey, Cal, what's up? It's your girl Naya live. Okay, I'm broadcasting. This is a test. I'm glad I'm doing this tonight because I have several platforms that I operate off of. Okay, let's see something. I'm going live off of YouTube from one device. I have to merge all of my devices. I really do. So, can I also do Facebook? Okay, I'm working on something. What's up? Tell me how you guys feel out there. Let me know. Platforms. So can I do this? Wait, share to Facebook. Wait a minute. Let's see if this works. Because if this works, we are in business. I think this is going to work. I feel like this is going to work. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me. It's a girl, Anaya A. And I feel like I might be live on Facebook as well. Let me double check because I am indeed live on Facebook and Instagram. I'll be so happy, guys, because we're back on Team ECI. Hey, everybody, please, please, please do not text and call right now. If you want to be a part of the platform, you can be. I'm about to post the link for you to join me live because we are back on Team ECI. What is Team ECI? It's the Economic Crisis Initiative where we discuss how do we build ourselves up out of the mess that we're in, right? And basically increase our wealth as we decrease our debt. And it looks like we're live right now. Okay, guys. So I'm live to forms. So this is my first time doing this. However, what's interesting is you have to click on to the which kind of your connection is unavailable. Please, what does it say? I can't see my screen. Please wait while we try connecting. Okay, so this is a test. And Kel, you're on live with me, and I feel like you need to go onto Facebook. Kel, do me a favor, my big bro. Go onto Facebook and click onto the live on YouTube and see what happens, please. See what happens if you click onto the live on Facebook. I have a few minutes to play around. That's what I'm gonna do because your girl has to test out this platform because if it works, means urge my platforms a little bit better and excuse me, and I don't necessarily have to have all like four of my gadgets going at the same time because I can have my laptop do the work for me. Can you guys hear me out there? Testing, testing, one, two, three. Let me know. Before we get started tonight, for real, there is so much bad news in the world. Like, there's so much bad news. Like, Every time you turn on a gadget, it's like death, death, killing, killing, die suddenly at 21. Like, honest to God, when they say we should be thankful to be seeing another day, that's literally the truth. On Team ECI, we really have a topic that we're going to discuss in just a few minutes. But I just wanted to preface by saying it's very sad the world that we live in. And it seems like a lot of people are dying every day. So, with that being said, and without any further ado, we're live on YouTube. I have 106 subscribers or subs, like they like to call it, and we are live now. So I feel pretty positive about this because I feel like we're live on YouTube. One watching now. Thank you for watching with me. I was testing this out and I feel really positive. Okay, so what's going on is I think right from YouTube, I can share my platform directly from YouTube to LinkedIn to Face. I have over 100 subs. Now, interestingly enough, I'm also live on another platform on YouTube, and I don't know how that happened. So, without going into too deep with the other platform, I'm just going to do this real quick and do in LinkedIn as well because I have to use LinkedIn a lot more. Let's say test watch now because I want to be another Tasha K. I don't want her $4 million issues, right, Tasha K? But I want to have a million people following me and subscribing to me and all that jazz. All right. So I feel really positive. Okay, guys. So it's your girl Anaya A, and I feel really, really positive right now because I'm on four devices, and I'm logged on to YouTube, joining me from wherever you are. And if you are watching me now, thank you for showing love. Send me some love, send me some likes so you can let me know that you're here for sure. Also, please follow me. Please subscribe to my page on YouTube. And the reason being is because I'm trying to build my platform. And my husband told me like a long time ago that I should be going live onto YouTube, and I was afraid of going live on YouTube for a very long time. And the reason being is because I could be on national own channel on YouTube. It's kind of scary. And so I'm just now developing the balls, aka the kahunas, to come on live on YouTube. And I've overcome my fears tonight. I am on YouTube and I've been able to share my YouTube to my Facebook and to my LinkedIn. And I'm going to follow back up with my super techie guy. And I'm going to ask him, to do like a whole lot with my platform. But I'm very happy this evening. And it also looks like, before we get into the crux of the matter, right? It looks like you can actually share right from YouTube to emails and, drumroll please, WhatsApp. And the WhatsApp is not connected onto my laptop yet. And it looks like I have to download it to the laptop, but I'm going to do that another time. But I'm not going to do that now because it looks like it's a little tricky to try to do that this evening. So, okay, let's get into the crux of the conversation. I'm not going to be on too long. I'm just so excited because I'm not afraid anymore. I've overcome my fears, which is false evidence appearing real. Fear is not even like a legit thing for those that may be in fear of certain things. Fear is not real. Fear is evidence, like false evidence appearing real, which in essence mean like, something that you're afraid of is literally in your imagination. Whatever we're afraid of is not an actual thing because fear is an emotion, right? So, like, excuse me, when we're happy, we're happy because that comes from a very beautiful, sensitive spot, genuine place, whatever. But fear comes from like a fake place. Like fear should not be a part of our vocabulary. We should never say the word can't. We should never bring ourselves down to believe that we are not able to do something or go the extra mile. And the reason being is because we should always speak positivity and life into our circumstances anyway. And with that being said, I'm super excited tonight, and I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking. I'm going to actually share a video clip, excuse me, in just a moment with all of you. And the reason being is because this is supposed to be Team ECI, the Economic Crisis Initiative that I started over, what, 2 years ago when the pandemic had first started. And Team ECI lost its traction a little bit because of the fact of us having, you know, the pandemic, which is not the biggest issue. It was me going on maternity leave. I had a baby 5 months ago, and I've lost a little bit of the traction of Team ECI, and it's obviously not anybody's fault except for my fault, but it's not because I had a baby, which was the biggest blessing ever, right? But we're building back up because we had like 30 members of Team ECI, and it's a free platform. We don't take any money. I don't take anybody's money to help share information, to give back, to empower, etc. And the reason being is because I want anybody that comes or who comes on this platform to learn and to grow and to understand how to increase your wealth and decrease your debt, because it's very imperative, and I want you guys to catch this. It's very imperative at this time that we're in this hour that we're in this time frame, in these moments that we're in, to learn, to grow, to follow examples, positive and beautiful examples of how to increase your wealth and decrease your debt. Now, why do I go so hard? You may be wondering, right before we go into our topic this evening. It is because essentially I want to see our community do better. I want to see us leave legacies. I don't want to see us homeless in the streets, children, in foster care, for example. We have so many beautiful children out there who do not have anybody, because their parents were unfortunately too impoverished or too strung out on drugs, or they were alcoholics, so they were not able to take care of their children, or they suffered from mental health issues, which could have started a number of ways, which is not what we're going to discuss this evening. So, what we're discussing is something that is very interesting. It's very interesting. And the reason why we're doing this topic tonight, oh, real quick, before we even jump into the topic, if you want to call in, you can. If you want to dial in this evening, you can to the Team ECI platform. And the number on Zoom is 436 903 4585. Again, it is, are you ready? Let me say a little slower for all those in the back. 436-903-4585. If you want to join us now and you want to share your thoughts about what we're going to discuss. Sorry, I have the sniffles all of a sudden. Then please write us right now. Please just jump on in. You don't have to have a password for this platform when you join us on Team ECI or even on the Anaya A show, because it's all in the same category, right? We utilize the same the same Zoom for all, for FEG management, for the Anaya A show, and for Team ECI. So if you want to join us, the number again, 436-903-4585. You don't have to put in a passcode, right? So join us now. Woo! So exciting. Yes, I may have sniffles because weather is really weird here in New York City. And sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's cold. You don't know what you're gonna get every day. So that's that globalization, global warming crap for you, right? All right, guys. So let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about the topic. So, as you guys know, I went on maternity leave, but that doesn't mean I'm dead. I'm still around. I try to come on live every so often. I'm not able to make it on live every day, every week, because I go on the baby schedule. He's the boss. I'm just like here as the parent or whatever, like who would have thought Anaya A would be a parent? So, fast forward. I still watch what's happening in the media. I still keep an eye on, the economics of our communities, voting, etc. And there was a story that literally just came out. For all those that are joining me, thank you so much. If you want to jump in, comment, etc., please feel free to do so. Listen, there was a story that came out just not too long ago, and it really boggled my mind because it just goes to show you that you never know who's real and who's fake in this life. Like you can sometimes differentiate who's real and who's not, but then there's other circumstances that people lie so well and people lie to you straight in your face, and you still cannot figure out whether or not they're telling the truth or they're lying. So recently something like that occurred with some really famous people. Drop the mic moment. A reality show or whatever. And it was so crazy to me because for years I knew of them. I never sat down and watched their show. The husband is very fruity. I don't like it. And the wife is just like one of those typical like Southern belles, which I don't like that either. And then they had like a biracial grandchild whom they stole from the black mother. So the whole thing to me was kind of obnoxious. But I always listened to what was happening behind those doors because I was intrigued by the messiness of it all. And as of late, we saw that the Chrisley family, I'm referring to Todd Chrisley and his jury for fraud. That's it. Drum roll. They looked like they were on top of their game, balling out of control, throwing shots at the black woman whom they said that was unfit to raise her own child. This couple seems to just be doing it big, and come to find out they were literally doing it big, but with other people's money, i.e., the bank's money, and they were doing a lot of fraudulent activity. Share this live with a friend. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube presently, Anaya A period on Facebook. And we're about to play a couple of clips for you about Todd Chrisley and his wife. Now, this, I'm just letting you know, is not to drag anybody. I don't do that dragging mess. When I say drag, I mean like not out there, wearing wigs and makeup as a man turning into a woman. No. I mean, first of all, when you play with people's money and when you play with people's time, understand somebody's always watching, somebody's always listening, and somebody's always going to come for their money or for what's theirs. In this particular instance, I can tell you guys that from what I observed, Todd Chrisley was gay and he was dealing with a man, and he was about to leave his wife and his prestigious lifestyle. And said man, aka boyfriend, must have got tired, must have got tired of sticking around and waiting for Todd Chrisley and put all the business in the streets. So without further ado, again, we're going to share this clip and a few others that Anaya A found on social media. Now, why does this have anything to do with the one and only Team ECI? Well, I will show you in just a second. Hold your bridges, family. Here we go. I really don't like these people. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like them. They're fake. They're obviously they're fake. So if you're watching on Instagram now, which I see a few of you are, please go into Anaya A period on Facebook. Spell out the word period, by the way, Period. Now let's tune in to got it, baby. Okay. Okay.
Sentences following the couple's tax evasion and fraud actions.
What we will not do is we will not break, because God didn't bring us this far to drop us off.
Todd sentenced to 12 years in prison. His wife Julie, 9 years in prison. And both were given 16 months probation.
We put our faith in God. We definitely don't put our faith in the system. We're seeing parents be so steadfast in their faith.
Last week, ET spoke exclusively with Todd and Julie's daughter, Savannah, as the family prepared for their sentencing.
To me, it's just so admirable, and that's kind of just my focus, is just watching them and still learning and growing from them in a time like this, and just kind of staying strong through it all and knowing that in the end, the truth will prevail. It may get harder before it gets easier, but we have faith.
Back in June, prosecutors said the reality stars engaged in extensive bank fraud and hid their wealth, all while flaunting their super lavish lifestyle on TV.
We signed up for a show that has entertained millions and millions and millions of people. But what we didn't sign up for is to be live.
At the same time, though, there have been reports of you having said, just fix it. Fix these documents. Fortify these documents.
That's not true.
Well, this is quite the legal mess.
Yes. But listen, we're blessed because God has given us the ability to, I feel bad for people in this country who don't have the resources to prove their innocence.
After a 3-week trial, they were convicted on all accounts. For both Todd and Julie, that included conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tax fraud.
Tax fraud is
an
real.
Additional conviction for wire fraud.
What they basically did is they provided fraudulent documents to financial institutions.
Don't be fraudulent out there,
And
guys.
the way that the federal government was able to prove this case was not just based on those actual documents, but it was also based on emails, text messages between the Chrisleys, along with one of the cooperators who came forward to tell the government what the Chrisleys had done.
Watching now, again, tonight we're talking about these fake millionaires, and basically, don't got it. Continued blessing. What's up, big boy? What's up, homie? It's something when you see 4585. Sorry, it's something when you see people out there who flaunt a lot, who act like they have it, and then it's another thing when you actually see people who are defrauding the government, the United States government. And like I stated moments ago before a lot of you joined in, what these people didn't understand. Well, first of all, let's go back to the real crux of it. So Todd Chrisley was actually living a double life, because he was not only defrauding the government, but he was defrauding his wife, he was defrauding God, and so much more. So I'm going to play this next clip for you, and I'm going to break down why it's important that I talked about the Chrisleys this evening on Team Anaya A, Team ECI. We should not allow people to defraud us. We should not allow people to just mishandle our funds or us, okay? Because at the end of the day, we are beautiful human beings and we deserve rights and respect like everybody else. So hold on. Let's continue. Why the Chrisleys are in trouble now.
Hi, everybody. It's Harvard Lawyer Lee. Well, really bad news coming in today. Todd and Julie Chrisley of Chrisley Knows Best fame. They were convicted on all 12 counts of a federal case against them in the Northern District of Georgia. Their accountant, Peter Tarantino, was convicted also. So I want to talk about what is this case? Why were the Chrisleys convicted? And what is likely in store for them? So let's get into it. The case in a nutshell started all the way back in 2012 when Todd Chrisley's ex-business partner left the company. He says Todd Chrisley fired him and went to the government and said, I know about fraud by the Chrisleys. The government gave him immunity so that he faced no prosecution for his role happened. And then the case was finally investigated for 7 years and finally brought in 2019 and then in 2022, it was finally tried. In a nutshell, there were three main issues in the case. The first was that the Chrisleys defrauded banks. I'll unpack what that means in just a minute. The second was that the Chrisleys failed to pay taxes and lied about what they earned. And in this case, that their tax accountant, Tarantino, helped them. He was also convicted. And then there were extra counts against Julie Chrisley related to wire fraud and obstruction of justice. So look at that first issue, the bank fraud. The government said that what the Chrisleys were doing was using falsified documents when they got loans or they extended loans that they already had. And they were using those falsified documents to convince the banks that they were worth millions and were a safe risk, when in fact, the government says they weren't a safe risk and they didn't have enough money to qualify for the loans. Ultimately, the issue mattered because the Chrisleys took out, according to the government, $20 million in loans that they couldn't pay and then declared bankruptcy. The government said the way they got these loans was they inflated account balances, they made false personal financial statements, and they also made false invoices and false audit paperwork. The government gave a few examples of what it said that the Chrisleys were doing. One example was that all the way back in 2007, the Chrisleys either had or were trying to get a loan from a bank. Mark Braddock sent in a personal financial statement that said the Chrisleys had $4 million in an account with Merrill Lynch. Todd Chrisley, according to the government, didn't even have an account with Merrill Lynch, much less a $4 million one. In fact, Todd Chrisley didn't open a Merrill Lynch account until the next year, and the most he ever had.
Let's pause on that real quick. So let's talk about Todd, and let's talk about, this is insane. This is insane that certain people in certain, tax brackets or skin tones or what have you, literally can get away with this. This is ludicrous. This is murderous. This is the American way for white for a person whom tried to do this. Y'all know we couldn't get as far as the front door of the bank. Let this keep playing, and I'll be back with more commentary.
An email that he said Todd Chrisley wrote, in which first Mark Braddock had sent a statement over that said $776,000. That in and of itself, the government says, would have been false. But it also wasn't as much as what they had told the bank they had. So Todd wrote him back and said, "You're an effing genius. Just make it show $4 million." The government says all of that was false.
All of it.
And a second example the government gave is in 2008 when a bank asked for updated personal financial information. And Chrisleys and Braddock sent in identical information to what they had filed 8 months prior. That they wrote the exact same cash, the exact same securities, the exact same real estate. And a bank employee wrote them and said, "Look, I'm trying to avoid questions about how these could all be exactly the same 7 months later." So Todd Chrisley then wrote Mark Braddock and said, "Bring the securities down significantly." The government cited that as an example of a false statement. A third example was that in 2008, a bank asked for updated financial information, and a superseding indictment says that Braddock said, "Well, what should I send?" And Todd said, "Just create the financials like you always have." The government says on another occasion, Todd Chrisley wrote and said, "Look, if you don't know how to do it," to Mark Braddock, "then find a crooked accountant to do it." He said, "Ask," and the name was redacted, "who her guy uses for his crooked S word." So the Chrisley, and the last example that I'll give you of what the government says was that the Chrisleys had to prove they had available funds for a bank. And Julie Chrisley sent Mark Braddock a copy of a check and said, "Post date is the only thing that needs to be." So Braddock did. He changed the date on which the check had posted from February 2012, backdated it to November 2011. The government argued that this wasn't just from Mark Braddock because the Chrisleys kept up this sort of conduct after he left. And they cited as an example that Julie Chrisley used false documents and bank statements to get a lease on some property in California for the family to stay in.
Of course, they had to
By
keep up with
defrauding the banks,
experience.
the government says the Chrisleys ran up $20 million in loans that they couldn't pay and ultimately had to declare bankruptcy, leaving banks on the hook for amounts that they had loaned to the Chrisleys. So category 2 was evading taxes. And this section, of course, was not related to Mark Braddock, but the Chrisleys, according to the government, failed to file timely tax returns in 2013, 14, 15, and 16, and failed to make timely payments on that. They also said that the Chrisleys hid their income by putting it into the 7 C's company, Sex Productions it was called, which received their money from Chrisley Knows Best, and then putting that into Julie's name and then into Faye's name to hide it so that it wouldn't be accounted specifically to them.
Lady, let's not. It's important for us to learn and to grow from. Okay, in the interim, let's talk about it, right? What have we learned so far, right? So, what we've learned is that these people have been defrauding America, the banks, attorneys, as well as their viewers from their show for a number of years. Here we go.
They were also accused of telling the IRS that they didn't have enough to pay a 2009 tax bill. 7 C's was still receiving payments and 3 months later received $300,000. So Peter Tarantino, their accountant, was in this case also and also convicted, and he was convicted specifically involving a tax return for 7 where the information was omitted about the company's revenue and distributions. The IRS said it was misled by the 2015 and 16 returns into thinking the company wasn't making any money. So no one was paying taxes on that. Now, there was an extra charge, or extra 2 charges actually, against Julie Chrisley specifically. They related to a submission of a document to Bank of America in March 2017 saying that Faye owned 7 Productions. Faye is the mother, of course, in Todd's mother and Chrisley.
Oh my God.
So the government says that the document showed that Faye owned 7 C's Productions. And those documents were submitted to the grand jury. But then Julie went in, changed the document to say that Julie owned 100% of it and resubmitted that document to the grand jury. The government says that's a backdated document and it's false. So trial was a lengthy process that took almost 3 weeks. The government put on 27 witnesses, including 2 FBI agents and Mark Braddock, and the defense counter was 16 witnesses, including Faye and Todd's mother and Lindsay Chrisley, but not Todd or Julie Chrisley, who, of course, were not required to testify because they were defendants. The government brought 1 witness only in rebuttal, and that was an FBI special agent. Clearly, the jury believed the government and concluded that what the government had said was accurate in the case. The government's centerpiece witness was Mark Braddock, who testified that he and Todd had had a year-long extramarital affair and that they had even paid somebody $38,000 to cover it up. Mark Braddock was lying about that, according to Todd Chrisley's attorney, and furthermore, made up all the documents against the Chrisleys because he wanted revenge. Mark even admitted he did want revenge.
But he wasn't lying.
Will be held over for sentencing. This could be facing up to 30 years in prison. But for now, we don't know. What we do know is they're in a lot of trouble. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I cover news at the intersection of law and life. See you in the next video.
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, guys. So let's just do a quick recap. And again, if anybody wants to join, you are definitely able to at this time. Let me stop sharing the screen with all of you. And again, this is Team ECI. We're starting back over and making sure that our community rejoins, us here live with Anaya A. I'm your host, obviously, and we also wanted to share that this video footage is obviously on the internet on YouTube already. I'm not making anything up. Matter of fact, I have no desire to make anything up when it comes to this type of unethical behavior. But the reason why I also wanted to share that this sentencing is going on, and these issues with this woman and her husband, the Chrisleys, is happening presently, and they've been indicted and they're going to be facing quite some time in prison, is because number one, it's so wrong. It's really, really wrong that these people are doing this or who have done this for years. But also, I wanted to point out that they can get away with this because they happen to be white. I mean, when else have you ever seen any persons or community get away with the crimes and the things that these people are doing? I mean, if you're Black, Hispanic, Indian, Native American, or what have you, you're definitely not being able to do this type of crime and get away with it. Now, not white person will go to this extreme length to defraud or to steal from the government or things of that nature. But I just wanted to point this out to you guys because we rebuild our platform and as we continue to grow, I wanted to showcase that people are really out here scamming. Like, people are really out here doing the most. And it's so unfortunate that they're doing this and they're treating communities like this. And when I say our communities, because imagine somebody else probably really needed that loan money, or somebody else, probably was waiting to get approved from the bank for a mortgage or something. And yet the Chrisleys, right, the bank and basically tell the banks that they need this money for X, Y, and Z, and that they should get approved, and they get approved. And they're able to go ahead and scam the bank and their business partners, etc., out of millions. As in here from the very beginning, right, of this platform that this woman was talking about, why are they in the biggest of trouble? They are such frauds, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that they didn't even have a bank account at this said bank when they first started doing their fraudulent activity. They didn't even have an account at Merrill Lynch. They literally opened up an account after they started receiving funds, placed them into this account, and basically told their team to create a smoke screen and do whatever they had to do so that they could get away with what they were doing. And tonight, as I'm closing down, right, first time doing this platform in this way, in this manner. So I just had to come on tonight and share this topic with you all because number one, this is horrendous what they have done, and they even got a TV platform, a TV show, foolishness, and furthermore, they can do all of this because they are indeed white people. Because I can almost 100 billion% guarantee you that if a sister named Anaya A were to walk into a bank, and I need you guys to quote me on this. If a sister named Anaya A walked into the bank and was like, "Hey, I need 40 million," and they were like, "Provide some documents," and I called up my fake accountant and was like, "Create some documents," I can almost 100%, billion%, quadrillion% guarantee that these people would have put me in handcuffs and drug me down the street and and isolated me in some kind of, mental institution. But funny enough, these white people do it every day. Every day. This is how America has what it has, and this is why Manhattan looks the way it does. This is also why certain children are enrolled in certain universities. The list goes on, and none of these people are ever caught until somebody calls them out, or they sleep with the person, or they owe the wrong person some money, and then all of a sudden, I'm telling on you, and when I on you, I'm gonna get immunity because although I had a role in the mess, I'm still white and I know what to say, and I'm going to completely cooperate. And upon me completely cooperating, I'm not going to be charged because of my cooperation. Boy, these people, the Chrisleys, had nothing in any account because they had no account. They had no account. Let me send this to some other folks because I mean, let me send this to some other folks because I need people to catch this real quick. These people had no account, none. They created a whole account after they received millions. Go back to what I just shared, or just Google or YouTube the Chrisleys. Hold on, I'm going to tell you the name of this. Todd and Julie Chrisley going to jail. Lawyer explains today's conviction. This video clip that we just heard, it was 5 months ago that it was put out, but this is the narrative that is literally playing out today. And what's happened is a black judge is the woman who basically threw the absolutely. So 9 days ago, more reports started to come out. There has been out, but what this white woman, the attorney, is Harvard lawyer Lee broke down exactly why they got caught, why it was imperative for the government to get involved, and also why they're going to do the time that they're doing, and how they're not going to be able to lie out of them going to court or to jail, etc. You know why? Because they can't get around this one. They can't. All the information, and the Chrisleys have been exposed, and they have all the emails, the text messages, etc. And when I tell you it hurts the most, because this has been going on since like 2012, 2010, or something of the sort. And what's sad is that these people are able to get away with all of this. You know why? Because, again, they're white. There's no accountability, none whatsoever. None. Let that have been me, Anaya A. My black butt would have been like, hey, can I get a loan, please? When they ask me how much, I need a loan for 40 million. 40 what? Anaya, do you have an account? No, I don't have an account, but I'm going to create one. And when I create the account, I'm going to need you guys to send me the money ASAP. And once you send me the money ASAP, I'll then be able to put the money in the account. Make this make sense, Jesus? I can't. Anyway, guys, I literally tried my platform different this evening to get a sense of how this platform can go from YouTube to my other pages, and it worked out very well. A lot of people may not be able to watch this evening for one reason or the other, but I'm very proud of myself for attempting this evening and making it work. So by next week, we will be back up and running to fullest capacity. I may do a quick of this classic story. Like, but again, this is America. This is how America was built. This is how Europe was built. The only people who do not make it when it comes to this fraudulent activity is us as a black people, because we are the ones that they harass. We are the ones whom get all of the pressure. We have to have everything in black and white, crossing every T's, dotting every freaking I. But if I were Todd or whatever, Mary Jane Chrisley, and I had on a Gucci purse with some heels, I would be able to walk in and get a $40 million loan with no problem, with no account, with no accountant, because at the moment, as we heard, they didn't even have a fully employed or fully visible accountant who was working with them. And this is why I have the biggest problem with certain classes of people who look at people's wealth, whom look at what people have, whom look at the exterior versus the interior, because you can look at the exterior all you want, but you will see the Chrisleys. You'll see that their lives are beautiful and they're making it, and meanwhile they have nothing. And then they end up going to jail for years for fraud and tax evasion and a lot worse. I need a nap after this one tonight. Either way, I had to bring this story out, guys. It's your girl Anaya A, live with Team ECI. We will be back, and then just to let you guys know, we'll be having some actual in-person events very soon. We're open to educate, empower, and positively edutain. So again, go back through this video so that you can see for yourself what I discussed this evening. But also, if you're very curious, or if you're still curious about the Chrisleys and all of the, you know, crazy mint, like my guy Uncle Larry Reed will say, the crazy mint, or what have you, then what you need to do is quick search on YouTube or on Google to see exactly what the Chrisleys have done, why they are going to prison for such a long time, and furthermore, you will also be able to see why this country continues to operate the way that it does. Damn, man. When God was choosing people and choosing the color of skin, he literally said, I ain't gonna let Anaya be white, because Anaya will scam all these people out their money. All right, praise the Lord. Well, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go, because I swear to God, if I was white, y'all don't know. I mean, what I would, dear God, oh my God, Manhattan, who? Okay, Staten Island, what? Long Island, I would own so much of stuff, because if I had the recipe to scam the way these white people scam, boy, they ain't no telling what I would own. Y'all checking on a very good friend who had a very profitable business in the Wall Street area, an African brother from Nigeria who was doing exceptionally well with his business. And of course, white America shut him down because clearly he didn't look like a Todd Chrisley. I gotta check in on that brother, see how he's doing. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm shutting it down. I got a lot of work to do. Thank you for tuning in and sharing this content with a friend. Your girl is back on track. All right. Be blessed and have a good night. We'll see you next week. Same black time, same black space on Team ECI. And we'll see you on Monday for another great interview on the Anaya A Show. Peace, deuces, and black love. Whoop, whoop. We did it, Instagram, honey. When I tell you, baby, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm sad, but it is what it is. I'm just the wrong skin color. But again, like I said, maybe God knew what he was doing because had he made me white, hunty, I would be shutting it down, robbing all these people. Later, guys. I forgot we're here too. All right, so this is my first time doing this. Let me see. Let me check it out. All right, let's see if it. Okay, so oh, next week, same black time, same black space on Team ECI, and we'll see you on Monday for another great interview on the NIH show. Peace, deuces, and black love.